Welcome to Vet2Vet, show that deals with issues strictly for veterans. And I'm Conrad Kaskowski, along with Dwayne Wick. We are both members of the Plymouth Ladwig Zinkgraf American Legion Post 243. Now, we're going to get to why my compadre over here is dressed the way he is, and you're going to learn quite a bit about really the post in
Yes,
one of the programs we do.
one of the many things we
Our,
do.
our headline is Military Funeral Honors. Now, the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, commonly heard as WDVA, Military Funerals Program, they work to provide and coordinate a final tribute to the men and women who served our state and nation honorably as members of the United States Armed Forces. It allows a grateful nation to pay its last respect in a dignified and solemn manner. So, how does the Military Honors Program establish eligibility? And we've said this in I don't know how many shows. The best way is your DD 214. That's the Department of Defense 214 for, you can call it a discharge, you can call it a separation, but that document is gold to you to show that you had served in the armed forces. Now, there are other documents,
Right.
but that's the one that really is. So you say, I don't know what I did with it. Okay, well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. And number one way, again, I will bring out the Sheboygan County, for us, Sheboygan County Veterans Service Office. 920-459-3053. I'll say it a few times. 920-459-3053. They will help you in establishing and getting your hands back onto that DD 214. I know some of you said, oh, what's the use? There was a big fire in 1976. And so, well, how do you know that? I've already had two veterans tell me that, and guess what? They were found, they were there. And also what's going on at that, when this fire happened in St. Louis, of these records, they have for the past 15 years recreating records, and they saved some of the stuff, and the new technology has happened actually recreate almost 1,500, that just was a few years ago, of those records. Okay. So very, very important that you need to do that. And you really can't go anywhere within the systems as in either the VA, the Veterans Administration, or with the State Department of Veterans Affairs.
I believe Wisconsin has a service officer in all 72 counties, so
Yeah,
all of your counties would have.
Yeah, so pass the word on to that. So now we come to the fact of these military funeral rites. Well, you'll see a term called VSO, that's Veteran Service Organization. Now, we are part of that. The American Legion, the VFW, and the Veterans of Foreign Wars, a Marine Corps League, just to give you, we're referred to as VSOs. And Dwayne's going to explain that more, but that's where we get the word of it. Sometimes directly from a family, but most often and probably generally, I mean, maybe I've gotten one from a family, but the funeral director. And the funeral director contact one of the organizations and say, there's a request for military funeral honors. So how does the state get involved in this? Well, first of all, that's where the flags come from. The veteran that's having the tribute is allowed a flag, and there's no charge for that or anything. And at the request, again, coming through the family, that particular service, and you would have been in the Army, the Navy, Marines, the Air Force, whatever, they will contact those agencies and try to get a representative, mainly for folding the flag, and possibly a bugler. That's not always the case, but they would at least try to get two to come in for folding the flag. Where do we come in? Well, it had changed a number of years ago because of the lack of getting these people put together. The veteran service organizations that get involved provide the rifle volley.
Right.
And they sometimes have to do a little bit more than that, but that's what they do. And before we get into Dwayne, and I know you're all wondering, geez, what is he doing? What is he here for? And his burial rights. It's interesting to note that there's been some changes within the VA program that the veteran is allowed a headstone. Well, you have choices. You can have a headstone, a grave marker, an urn, a medallion, but it can only be one of these. And again, the county service office at 920-459-3053 will help you. Why I keep repeating that is because you need to make an appointment to see someone there, because right now they're, and they have been for quite a while,
Very busy.
extremely busy.
Yeah.
And one other thing, and this has been an upgrade through the VA, the VA will pay up to $978 toward a burial and funeral expenses. I know right now that's, really peanuts, but it does. And that is as of October of last year. And a $978 plot interment. But if it happened, the burial takes place in a national cemetery or state, then that doesn't count. That doesn't come into play. Wisconsin's National Cemetery in Milwaukee Woods is not accepting any interments. It's at capacity.
Basically full.
However, there are state cemeteries in Spooner, Union Grove, and King. Again, for placement there at no cost, you still need to call the Veteran Service Office. So let us get to Dwayne. Dwayne, you are the head of our post honor guard.
Correct.
So you have a team, right?
We do. We do.
You know how many are?
Well, we're fortunate to have about 33 members on our roster. Typically, to the way I operate our honors, I like to have 12, 13 of them.
So now each member, when called upon to do the military rights, will come dressed as you are.
They are.
And explain, there's some, you have something red here and then what?
Right. Well, and then the uniforms probably vary as many honor guards as what there are. There's no standard honor guard. What would be standard is the patch that we have as far as honor guard, the rocker, and a flag. This is a type of the flag that we happen to have on this one. This is our winter uniform. We happen to have a summer uniform as well.
That was good.
So that one also has the flag on it, honor guard. So, and we do winter, summer according to the Navy. October 1st for the winter and May 1st for the whites. Other things on it, we happen to have a poppy on it. We have the branch of service pin that's on it, another small flag, and something else that maybe could identify the branch of service also that you're in. Also our honor guard badge, so it says Ladwig Zincroft Post 243. We also have white gloves. The cover is, we use our same cover that we have for our business meetings. But like I said, they can vary considerably from,
Right.
The big thing is that they're all the same and you look professional.
Okay, now, again, we have mentioned the Rifle Volley Squad, which is one of the main things that you do and you provide. What kind of rifles do we have implemented?
We use the M1 Grands. You can use the the older Springfield bolt actions, some of the honor guards have those, but we have the M1 Grands, and they're a ceremonial type rifle. They're converted so that we just use them with blanks to do our firing.
Yeah, these, if you saw the old movies, that big old rifle they carry, that's the M1, that's what they have. Now, let's start. You get a call from a funeral director, and how does that take place?
So the funeral home will call me and ask me if I can help with the honors. As you had said, sometimes the state is involved. So if the family requests the state to have them come, they will send 2 representatives from that branch of service of which that veteran served. They will do the flag folding and the taps. If we have a live bugler available for that service, they'd rather prefer to have a live bugle, so we will have our live bugler. I will send out an email to all my members. They will respond, and I have some that rather do the rifle, some that don't want to, both because of the weight of the rifle, and others that typically just want to do the flag. I try to have a non-firing ceremonial rifle, the American flag, our post flag, the branch of service flag, and then as many of the actual live rifles for the rifle squad.
So then you have them all in a
And they're all lined up within that order.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting that he brings up the bugle because you're lucky enough you have 2 buglers.
We actually have 3 now.
Oh, yeah, that's
we have
true.
three-
Yeah,
we have
you have
three
3
that-
buglers. Now, the Army, I think, was the one that sends sometimes you get one. However, if all of these don't come together, there is a backup,
There's a
right?
backup. We have a ceremonial bugle that has an insert in it, which has a recording of the taps, which I'm told was done at Arlington. I'm not sure if it has been.
It's a recording that was done at the National Cemetery in Arlington, outside of Washington, D.C. And it is an actual bugle. It just doesn't have the valves. But if somebody was really that good, could take the insert out and actually play on it. Now, so we've got the notification. You've told the team to get ready. Everybody comes in. Let's say the funeral home. I'm going to use the funeral home because you can also do this in a church. There's a ceremony that happens there also, correct?
Right. Before the service, we like to do a walkthrough or a final salute. So we will, as the family comes in and sits, we will walk up to the urn or the casket individually, and we will do a slow ceremonial final salute and then walk off. And each one of our members will do that.
Now, this is regardless if the veteran is a Legion member or not, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, that's never come into play.
There's only one little difference in the one of the extra things that we do as far as the certificate of honor,
Right.
which not all honor guards do.
Now, also, we have not been limited just to the funeral home or the church or the cemetery. We've also gone to residences.
And done a celebration of life. During a celebration of life, we've done a few of those. A bit more common in the last years. The family would just request us to come to the residence and join them with the celebration of life. And then at the end, we will do military honors.
Okay, and then there's, when we're outside, you start off by getting everybody in order, correct?
Right.
Get them all lined up. Your commands then start off prior to the volleys.
Right. We actually wait, those that are folding the flag, will take the flag. If it's folded, they will unfold it and tabletop it, and that's my cue to start the ceremony. If it's already draped over the casket, they will go up and pick the flag up off of the casket and tabletop it. Again, that's my cue to start the ceremony of the rifle volley.
And there will be how many volleys?
We have 3 of them. So at each, I'll bring the honor guard to attention. I will command the honor guard or the rifle volley to rifle squad to port arms to prepare to fire, and then they will fire ready, aim, fire, 3 volleys, bring them back to port arms, and then we go to present arms. And at present arms is when I will ask the bugler to sound taps, and they will hold that present arms during the playing of taps, and then back to order arms and parade rest while the flag is being folded.
That's when the flag
That's
is
when the
folded.
flag is folded at the
And
end.
then after the flag is completely folded, what happens?
Then one of the 2 will present the flag to the next of kin, generally a surviving wife or a spouse. That's determined. We will always ask who is receiving the flag.
And now we put a little extra touch in there, right?
We do. Well, actually, and there's actually, I'm going to just read so I don't misquote this, but for the presenter of the flag will say to the, as he's presenting the flag, on behalf of the President of the United States and then he'll say the branch of service, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service. They will step back and they will do again a slow ceremonial salute and then walk off.
Okay, now, then we put a little ad in there.
We add to that.
You talked about some certificates.
We do. We have a post everlasting if it's a post member, and the only difference is if it's a non-Legion member or belonging to a post, we do a certificate of honor and read that to that person that has received the flag and present them with the certificate and again do a ceremonial salute.
And then you would come up with,
Again, we add another little thing to it. As this is going on, after they have fired, I will retrieve 3 empty cartridges, and I'll have either try to pick up more of them or else have some others into a very nice blue velvet bag with our post American Legion on it and our post name on it. I will then, after the certificate is given, I will present those 3 empty cartridges to that same person and say these represent the 3 volleys that have been fired. They are for duty, honor, and country. They are to be kept with the flag, and the remainder of these cartridges can be distributed to the family at your own discretion, and then do a ceremonial salute and walk off.
so Dwayne's got quite a bit to do once. I mean, he's been doing it for quite a bit, and I sometimes think he goes, well, you know, they've been doing it so long, it just falls in. And when we talked about doing this, then it was like, yeah, there is quite a bit to it for what he does. And it's always just for the sake of the honoring the veteran for the service, and of course that the family sees that veteran's getting that recognition. They're very, very, very important.
And we want to do it very respectful. That's why we have the uniforms that we have. And when the state comes, they're doing this continuously. So when you get a compliment from them saying that you do a good job, you have more to it than what others typically do, we know that we're doing the right thing. We know that we're giving them the honor and respect that they deserve.
And the cost of family for all of this is nothing.
Nothing.
There's no charge for this. In fact, we always tell them, and anybody that says something to us, we said, well, it's our honor to do this. So that's all of it in a real quick nutshell. But again, remember that DD 214 or separation, or if you can't find it, contact that office for the Veteran Service Office in Sheboygan Falls, 920-459-3053.
And then register it with the Register of Deeds, so
Yes,
they have a copy of it.
that's another good thing to do. Then you have it in another secure place. So I want to thank you for watching, and I want you to please stay safe, healthy, and active.